Holy shit. These colors.
So I gotta parade. I gotta just parade.
Oh my God, are you ready? Let's go to church, team. Kia ora and welcome. My name's Zoe Shibi and I'm your vocal coach for today. I'm moderately hyper. We're going to be taking a look at the vocal technique of ALICJA with pray. I feel like I need to bring the energy down. We're going to take a look at what her voice is doing, how you can create these sounds, and what is she up to with the vocal technique. Let's just cut the crap. So, oh, I've got a freebie for you down in the description below. Let's have a look. Honestly, I'm very, very hyper. This could get crazy.
Freedom, just freedom. Won't you give it all to me?
And do you know what I immediately think? Take me to church. I worship like a dog in the sun of your light. Oh my God. Are you ready? Let's go to church, team. Freedom. Do you know what? My brain went immediately to Hosier, so I've got to listen to that again.
Freedom, just freedom. Won't you give it all to me? Lay down all my struggle.
Holy shit. ALICJA, we all need to learn to sing as well as this. Fucking hell. You guys need to practice if you want to sing this song. Jesus. Okay. Firstly, we're noticing. I'm not going to out anyone as a soprano, alto, tenor, wah, 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 wah. It doesn't really matter. But we are hearing a darker timbre in her voice in comparison to, say, mine. That is leaning me towards either, well, that she's got a larger larynx than I do, but that's sort of more of this mezzo, soprano, alto sound. I'm not outing her, but yes, it is a darker timbre. Freedom! I think I keep on going higher than it actually is. Let's just listen to that again.
Freedom, just freedom.
She's up on that G4. That is actually like slap bang usually in a lot of the passaggi of many female singers. So because she's sounding that dark at that point in the range, and when I'm meaning like dark, I'm meaning like the timbre of her voice, it's usually due to the size. I'm talking to too many Americans today. It's usually due to the size of the larynx. That would make the tone slightly darker. So just like with my guitars, right? This ukulele has a brighter sound than that guitar just due to the size of the body. If the larynx is larger, the sound will be deeper.
Just freedom. Won't you give it all to me?
Oh, I'm like a bit of a sucker for that. I just like love this voice quality. So we'll go, won't you give it all to me? And when she's creating that sound, that is like kind of a knock-on effect of a couple of different things. We've got an increase in the pressure at the back of the throat. Won't you give it all? And a little bit of the tongue being pulled back in the throat. Even if you're not actively pulling back, this is kind of what Christina Aguilera does. If you're not actively pulling the tongue back, tensing the tongue root, won't you give it all, will help to also darken the tone.
Lay down all my strong.
Okay, we're up on the C5. Hey down. So that's quite high in the female chest voice, yeah? So we're hey down, lower tongue position, as well as the darker timbre. Look, fuck it. Even if she's not got a larger larynx, there is a darkening of the timbre. She's dropping the pitch. And when I'm meaning darkening of the timbre, I'm meaning we hear that sound and we're like, oh yeah, that's totally low. And then we go to sing it, we're like, she's up on the C5. That's quite high for the female chest voice, yeah? We're hearing a slight rasp in the sound. High tongue position. I love it. I mean, you wouldn't be able to get up there without it. Yeah, so we've got this lift in the cheeks. What we're doing there, I'll calm down because I'm getting a bit ahead of myself. what we're doing when we're lifting the cheek, lay down. Let's just watch that.
Lay down all my strong.
Can you see that? Yeah. Lifting up the cheeks is also going to help us to lift the soft palate. And when we're lifting the soft palate, we are able to pitch better, but also to stabilize everything that comes down below the soft palate. Soft palate is the door to the nose back here inside your throat. That little thing that hangs down is the start. It's called the uvula. It's the start of your soft palate. When we're lifting in here, this is like this wonderful knock-on effect that means that our soft palate often closes or it raises, and that helps us with our pitching and taking our chest voice higher. Did you see her tongue? It went lay down, and she took the tongue a little bit low at that top note. Not a beginner vocal technique thing, yeah, but we can take the tongue just a little bit low as long as it's not pushing onto the larynx, okay? That's the most important thing. We need the tongue to come forward enough to allow the larynx to raise for pitch, but we want to make sure that when we're darkening the tone that we're not pushing the larynx down.
Struggle to bring back the missing piece of me. Lord, are you giving up on me?
Why, there's just so many good songs in Eurovision this year. I don't even know who to vote for. Help me. Oh, when we've got this dark, this like lower, I've lost the pitch.
Missing piece of me.
It's actually a little bit, there's a lot of thyroid tilt going on there. So the thyroid is here with the vocal folds of the missing piece. So we're lower in the range, but we got so much thyroid tilt on that chest voice that it doesn't really sound chesty anymore. Yeah, the missing piece would be if I took the thyroid tilt out of it, and the missing piece, you can hear that it sort of like warms the sound a little bit. Very typical. And please, I am not a gospel teacher, okay? But I do like to sing a bit of gospel. It is quite typical in the start of songs in gospel. Okay, I'm gonna dare say that online. So the missing piece, also in sort of like soulier kind of sounds. Slightly with a darkening, low, even the further lowering of the larynx. Let's bring it out in and out. She's taking it lower now.
Lord, are you giving up?
Lord, are you? She doesn't necessarily have to drop the larynx that low. Lord, are you? But dropping the larynx is going to darken that. Can you hear it? It's like, we're getting ready to pray. Yeah, love it.
'Cause I'm not giving up on me. I thought you would forgive my sins.
Yeah, it's going, so we get a little bit of the tensing at the back of the throat. That's what's creating that sort of sound. Lots of thyroid tilt to soften up that chest voice, because otherwise, don't really know the words. Yes, I'm just going to sing on Eeyore. If we weren't to have so much thyroid tilt, the sound would be a lot brighter, but it would be a lot louder.
Told me to pray. So I gotta pray. I gotta just pray. Pretty girls rock. I've been on my shit and I was pretty on top. You ain't my loss. Step down, take 5. Now I'm the boss. I'm a go.
Just honestly, I think this song's gonna win. This song is really, really good. Like, it's good as a song, you know, like not just, oh, it's nice bit of hippie hop, like bit of, you know, that is a good song.
I gotta just pray.
There we go. So we're seeing the cheeks. I gotta just pray. Lowering of the the lowering of the larynx is going on, but she's taking. Like, she's raising the larynx with the pitch as she's going up. This is a typical mistake that people make when they sing this stuff and they're wanting to darken the tone in their belt. They don't take the larynx high enough. We've lost her. Pray! She's a little bit of that darkening going on, but she's, again, the larynx is right up with a high tongue position, which needs to happen in order for the larynx to raise. I'm not even going to attempt to do that riff online for the very first time that I'm ever hearing that song. No. But we've got that, we're getting that darkening coming in there. Beautiful larynx flexibility right there. We're wanting to make sure that we can go from the bottom to the top of our range without there appearing to be a change in the timbre. But we do know that there is a difference because we go from one set of muscles as being the dominant set of muscles that we're using in the lower section of the range to a separate set of muscles that we're going higher up in the range. But if we're keeping with that thyroid tilt all the way through, it can really help us, like she's just done there. Got a thing or two to learn. Oh my God, this is beautiful. The thyroid tilt will help to hold on to those closed vocal folds further up in the road, like to hold on to that chest voice.
Pretty girls rock. I've been on my shit, now it's pretty on top. You ain't my loss. Step down, take 5. Now I'm the boss. On my go, move fast. Take this style, take this class. Make the money when you run with me. They told me go, shake that, take that off. 2 steps back. Why it always feel the same? So
wow, these colors. Okay, so we're hearing now here when she's speaking, she's making lots of different changes to the. I'd have to really hear her speaking to be able to say like whether this is a changing of the timbre, but she's gone a little bit brighter, taking the larynx up, but also open the vocal folds, introducing more breath at this point.
You ain't my loss. Step down, take 5. Now I'm the boss.
Step down, take down, boss. Yeah. So we're getting this is really like pure speech quality. She's taken all of that thyroid tilt out of it. There's no sweetening of the tone. Take my boss. Yeah. So when we're taking that thyroid tilt out, what often happens is there is a straightening of the tone, but it also sounds less sung. Thyroid tilt is the main difference between speaking and singing. So that's what she's just done there to allow for that difference in that color.
Move fast, take this style, take this class, make the money when you run with me.
I think I'm in love. Yeah, it's just the beautiful singing. Beautiful singing. So we're going to take that smile, take that bottom when you're on with me. You can see she's gone back into the singing there. She's added in that thyroid and went down on the C4. Make your money when you're up with me. And almost like lowering the larynx again to darken that tone.
Take this class, make the money when you run with me. They told me go, shake that, take that off. 2 steps back, why it always feel the same? Someone come get me out of here, get me out of here.
God, I gotta go to rehearsal in a second. So we're gonna feel the same, and you can hear that tightening going on at the back that we heard in the beginning. Same, and that I always like to say to students, like, and again, this is beautiful. I'm not making fun of her whatsoever. I like to say to students to imagine themselves as Mr. Bean. And that part at the back of the throat is really, it's that upper constrictor muscle, which is involved in swallowing. And that's the one that we're looking to tense when we're wanting money when you're up with me. And again, you can hear that. Yeah, I flipped on that last note because it's difficult for us to go really low in the range when we've got that constrictor. Money when you're up with me. And she took it out for that last note because it is much, much lower. You have to release to go lower.
Yes, I gotta fight to know what it can hurt ya. In my air, I know my hair, I so stay out of my way. Dropping all the number ones with white gloves on my hands. Honey, I'm trying to stay where the sky ends. Paving my own ways with what important phrase.
Oh, I feel like this is like a bit of old R&B. There is a lot going on for me right now. Never heard this song in my life, so I am trying to make sense. I'm also getting very excited about this vocal technique. I need a drink, but there is a lot of change going on here. So we just need to go back on that because she's just gone to a slightly more sung section of the song.
In my air, I know my hair, I so stay out of my way. Dropping all
Up on the E flat 4. This feels like it is a comfortable chest voice area for ALICJA. I was just leaving Felicia before, so I'm just a little bit like ALICJA, Felicia. So for ALICJA there, we've just got a little bit of that thyroid. In my ear, that thyroid tilt is sweetening that tone. So it's not in my ear, da 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 da, in my ear, da 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 da. Can you hear the difference of the tone there? So that thyroid tilt is helping there sound more sung, but we're on the same note.
With white gloves on my hands, honey, I'm trying to stay where the sky ends, paving my own ways with what important phrase.
We're also seeing not a hell of a lot going on in terms of the breath. I mean, she's wearing a beautiful costume for us to be able to see what's going on with her breath. But you can notice it's very little, and we're hearing very few breaths. That could be due to the audio engineer having like a gate on her microphone so that you don't hear quite as much as those breaths. But that's probably due to the fact that she's taking shorter breaths and she's taking them just more often. She's not like at one point in the song. Can you say, pray, pray? Did she open up on that vowel? Pray. So when we're opening up into more of the pray, or whatever she just did, when we're opening up into more of that open vowel, which would be that as opposed to the pray, she's doing a pray instead of a pray, yeah? When we're opening up into the pray, it's going to help to get volume on that sound to help us to close the vocal folds further up in the range. But if you're pray, that closure of the mouth can sometimes make it kind of difficult for us to, okay, I say make space at the back of the throat, but I'm not talking about like loads of space. I'm talking about tiny increments of space being created. I'm loving that. It's got a little bit of that growl going on there. I'm so sorry. I'm like really excited. So we've got that little bit of, which the arytenoids rocking together at the back. And when they knock together, that's how we create that sound. It's a letting go and not a pressured sound. Let's just go back on this really long note that she's got there. Okay, and you notice she doesn't flinch because she's a professional singer. This is what we work towards, but we notice she goes down. But why, Zoe? Beautiful. So when we're going down, that can help us to hold on to the breath support. Funnily enough, not because of why you think it might be happening, okay? What we're doing there is when we are increasing the subglottic pressure, that helps us to close the vocal folds, which means we let less air out. And then when we're going down, that helps us to pull up through the pelvic floor, all through these front abdominal muscles in order to stabilize so that our diaphragm doesn't raise too fast. But I'll come closer. Our diaphragm is not active in this moment. Please remember that. Our diaphragm is passive in this moment. It is about controlling the other muscles of the breathing mechanism and not the fucking diaphragm. To make sure that basically we're essentially like the diaphragm is kind of just like chilling out when it's going up. And we're essentially asking the other muscles to like hold on so that the diaphragm can't go up. She was in quite a similar vocal quality. Hey, that little bit of like, I like to say gravel, or that little bit of crackle coming in the sound, or constriction, you could call it. I think it's just a little bit of constriction, which would be where you're closing the area above the vocal folds. Hey! And that's really dependent on how much each singer can handle. It's not about shoving a whole bunch of breath through it, though. It's about closing there and holding back the breath.
I think you need a sip of holy water. Ooh, don't want no problems with my mother's daughter. Scared, now I guess I'm taking over. Hey, trickery ain't nothing new. Front page of your news, there ain't nothing you can do. Nothing you can do.
why am I doing that? I've never done that in my life. Zoe, what's happening? I love this song. Let's have a little look at this section because it is very similar to the first section where she's using this slightly more thyroid tilted sound.
My mother's daughter, scared, now I guess I'm taking over. Hey, trick
we can see the hey, and she's using that glottal instead that hey, with that drop larynx, short breaths, hey, and we're seeing that engagement here in the abdominals. I don't want to say that she's engaging shitloads, but she is engaging a little bit because we do need to do that.
Front page of your news, there ain't nothing you can do, nothing you can do. In my era, no more era.
I like that she also took the, I mean, look, she's a professional singer. Of course she's doing this, but she's a front page of the news. When we've got a closed vowel, like a ooh, we're wanting to pull back on the volume as a front page of the news. She's letting the articulation do more of the work than thinking about increasing the volume for that part.
My way, dropping all the number ones with white gloves on my hands. Honey, I'm trying to say where the sky ends, paving my own ways with what important phrase. Pray, pray, pray.
Oh, that was the end of the song? Oh no! Okay, we're gonna have a little look at this last little bit again because I want you to take a look at what she's doing. I really have to go to rehearsal in like 3 minutes. We'll have a little look, like, I'll be nearly finished, yeah? Look at what her tongue's doing there.
What important phrase, pray, pray.
I'm gonna write that down. I love that. You're going to see this more in my videos. I like that as a vocal warm-up. To work on the pray, pray, pray. Let's do that. Poland! ALICJA! You can catch that down below. I'm not going to do it right now, but I will have it done by the time this video comes out. You can get the free vocal warm-up of that down below. Pray, pray. Great for working on that pray, 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 coming down in that chest voice quality. Cool. Okay. Of course, we always have to have a money note. As unfortunately, because I feel like that kind of, I don't know. I don't really like that. The whole song was fucking awesome. You don't need to add a money note in the end there. But again, who cares what I think? It's not my song. I love that. Pray that we have more of that trumpet shape there for that chest voice. We're hearing a little bit of tiredness going on in the sound. Now that could also be a stylistic decision that she's made. A little bit more constriction coming in there. We're way up there on that G5. Okay, when we are singing in the chest voice, way up there in the range, we need to be careful that we are not pressurizing that sound. You could see that she went in with her arms. She's engaging through those larger muscles in the head, neck, and the back. Pray! We need to make sure, though, that we've got... I keep on going on about subglottic pressure. It's honestly very important when it comes to singing. But we saw the tongue tensing up as she went through that section. Let's just do it again. I gotta run. You saw the tongue where, yeah, we need that because the tongue, I'm sure you've heard somewhere along the lines from someone who has not looked at the new research to do with singing, that, you know, the tongue needs to be relaxed in the mouth. Bullshit. I tell you, if your tongue is relaxed in your mouth when you're singing that high, you're not going to be able to sing that high in your range. But this is not just about like doing it overnight. You have to go through a program of strengthening the tongue. Honestly, it's changed the singers inside the Vocal Academy's lives. I'm like not shitting you, mine as well. means that this sort of stuff is much, much easier for everybody. So you can check out the link in the description below for the information on the Vocal Academy, because we have an entire tongue training system for you based on myofunctional therapy. It's not just like my thoughts on the tongue. Yeah. So what we've got there is the tongue has gone down a little bit at the back in order to donate a little bit to the larynx. That needs to happen in order to stop us from feeling like we're choking when we're going higher up in the range. And the tensing of the tongue is also important. As the larynx raises, that tension of the tongue is also going to hold the larynx in place, because the tongue actually inserts directly into the top of the larynx. So we're hearing that. We can see that this increase, we got the cheeks going up, the soft palate is raised. This is basically like throwing everything at the wall. We can see a little scrunch in the face there. I think that is also that's artistic expression in that moment. And we can hear a little bit of the tune coming apart there at the end. Again, this just happens. This is a really important situation. It's like stakes are really, really high. The whole performance has gone really, really well. What can often happen at the end of the song, pray! We drop the support. We drop that feeling. It's just like, oh my fucking God, thank goodness I'm finished with that. And that is when the pitch can go a little bit down at the end. Could also be due to stamina. Again, no judgment. I just want you to notice that at the end of songs are just as important as at the start of songs. Wow. I have to run to rehearsal. So that was incredible. If you want to sing with someone who's moderately obsessed with vocal, actually I'm very obsessed with vocal technique, I know how to help you. This honestly, I teach singers all day, every day, how to sing this sort of stuff in a way that doesn't make them feel like they're singing like a strangled cat or like they are screaming their faces off, and that they know that it's going to sound good, but also in a way that they know that they're doing it right, that they're not going to hurt their voices. So if you want to learn from a teacher who not only knows how to do this within my own voice, but also knows how to teach you through step-by-step exercises that you can do at home. And I'm not going to be like pussyfooting around this shit. I'm going to tell you what you need to go and work on. I'm going to tell you how you can get better, because that's basically my job. If you want that, and I'm going to push you, you're going to become you will become a very good singer after working with me. Hit me up in the description. You can apply for one-to-one singing lessons. I'd love to have a chat about your voice goals and see if they align with my teaching strategy. You can check out some more Eurovision up here. I've got to run. You're going to have to practice if you're going to want to be this good, but I'm really excited to work with you on it. Please, someone sing this song. Ka kite anō.